Hi everyone, I'm back from my week off. It's great to be back on the Wednesday class. Please say hi in the chat. A big shout out to Basti for looking after the Wednesday class last week. Thank you very much, Basti. So if you'd just like to let us know, Sally from Norwich, there we go, it's the first to post this week. Hi Sally. Looking forward to today because it's the last, believe it or not, it's the last Wednesday of the metal element. We've already done 2 months of the year, so we've gone through 2 meridians out of 12. So we're going to be putting those into context today. Just a little reminder while everyone tunes in and warms up a bit. Hi Mary, Liz, Carolyn, Rotto, and Gillian, and Joan, and Edward. And I just want to remind you what we're doing this year. If you have only just recently tuned in, we are actually going round the whole cycle of the meridians. And if you are one of the community members and you may have tuned in on Saturday when I was teaching last Saturday, in the warm-ups on Saturday, I actually gave you a sneak preview of the whole cycle of the meridians. But this is where we're at. We're starting off with lung and large intestine. That's the purple color there, the metal element. So that's January and February, lung and large intestine. And it's all to do with, first of all, going from a deep sleep, the initial waking up, and those very important early breaths in the morning. That's why we tend to do breathing exercises early in the morning. And then we've got waking up, releasing the bowels, meditating, those kind of things are the things we do when we first wake up. So we're working on that energy pattern of basically bringing the Qi into the system through the breath, and then releasing, eliminating, skin cleaning, skin scrubbing, things like that, showering in the morning, breathing exercise, that kind of thing. It's all bringing energy in and kind of clearing out as we go. So that's where we're at. And next week, believe it or not, we're going to be into the yellow area, the stomach and spleen area. We're going to be into the earth element, so that's going to be good. So today I thought we'd do we do the tuning in as we always do, and then I've got a few polls I'd like to run just to find out where you are in the group, how stressed the group is as a whole, and then we're going to focus in on the breathing today, see which burners you want to work on, and we're going to work from there. Just as we do every week, we're going to totally tailor it for you, or for us I should say, as a group. Thank you, Dinah, for being on the chat. So let's do the scanning. If you've got a piece of paper, I keep my clipboard near me here. I've got my clipboard, my pen. So what we're going to do is we're going to first do a whole body scan, find out how we're doing, and then we'll do the 3 burner scan, check out exactly what's happening. Okay, cool. So always a good idea to at least once a week do a whole body scan just to see if there's anything you haven't really noticed in your daily life, in terms of any blockages or weaknesses or tensions in the body. So let's just start off. We're going to focus above the head and scan down through the body, through the top of the head, through checking out the eyes, see how there's any tension there, through into the front of the head. This is the sinuses, and more about that later on today when we do the final point of the week of the large intestinal meridian. So yeah, just checking the sinuses, checking the ears, the jaw, and then we go down through the throat. Throat's a very important area, and it's connected to the lung channel, which is the part of the metal element. So we're just checking to make sure that's free and open. Okay, scanning down. Also, don't forget your neck. So just scan in, see how your neck feels. And then we're going down onto the shoulders, checking out how they feel, and opening up and checking through down the arms. Then we're going to come back up, and we're going to go scanning down through the back and through the whole torso. So let's just check in. I'm just going to close my eyes, just checking to see what that feels like. Okay, we go down through the diaphragm into the whole digestive area, the lower back, and into the hips and the sacrum, and then down through the knees, and then the ankles and the feet. Okay, excellent. So now let's just take a step back, as it were, and just view the whole of our body energy as a whole, and just see if you can get an overall picture of where your energy is at right now. Okay, very good. Now, if you can turn that into an image, and we'll draw that as our whole body scan, which is our whole tuning in thing. I think my week off has definitely done me some good because I've definitely got less obstructions than normal in my scan, but just to see how you feel. Okay, excellent. All right, so that's our whole body scan. I'm not doing too bad today. Look, here's my fairly clear scan compared to average. I wonder how long it will last for. Now we're going to do the 3 burner scan, and we're going to tie that in with the breathing today. So if you just like to do what I've done, which is make 3 areas like that, and then we're going to scan in each of the 3 zones, the lower, middle, and the upper burners. Okay, I'm going to get in a standing position. So relaxing, tuning into the lower burner, that's from the navel around into the sacrum, around here. Okay, I'm closing my eyes, tuning in. Okay, now I'm going to go up to the middle burner, which is below the diaphragm and around from the navel, above the navel, and around into the lower back, into the lower part of the thoracic area, so it's around here. Okay, and then finally up into the upper burner. Okay, excellent. Now, comparing all of those 3 areas, and just to remind you, according to Chinese medicine, this should be kind of relaxed, definitely not hot or cold, quite strong and relaxed. The lower burner, the middle burner should be nice and open and free, and the upper burner should be like a mist, nice and expansive. You don't really want any congestion there or any feeling of obstruction. So that's what we're looking for. So how did you do? Let's just think about how we're going to draw that. And what we're going to do now is we're going to run 3 polls and just find out how we're doing as a group. And then once we've done the polls, we'll figure out what we're going to do today in the Wednesday class exercises. Okay, so the first poll I'd like to run is the basic one, which is how are you doing? How are you coping? And that's the one just to find out what the general stress level is of the group. I haven't done this for a little while, so I'm going to share that poll now. So how are you coping? Coping well, I'm okay, neutral, stressed, or very stressed? And we'll just see what the general stress level of the group is. And let's see how we're doing as a group. Okay, not too bad. Hooray, we've got 1 coping well person. Well done, well done for being so sorted. Okay, we haven't got any very stressed, but we have got still about a third of you who are feeling stressed and about another third who are neutral. So we want to improve on that and try and get you more into that feeling of just general wellness. Okay, so I've got one of the most central things that we can do to regulate our nervous system, as we've explored that many times in the Wednesday class, is the breathing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the breathing exercise that we've done before. I'm just going to ask you to take a deep breath in and just see where it goes. I'm going to do it in a standing up position today. We'll just see what happens. So basically the idea is you scan into your own energy here. Okay, scan into the internal part of our body. And then without forcing it or without actually doing anything consciously to direct it, we're just going to take a deep breath in. Okay, and then just hold the breath for a second and notice where the lowest part of that breath appears to go, and then breathe out. Okay, so where did your breath go? Did you find it went up here or here? Or did you feel it in the diaphragm? Or did you actually feel it right down into the lower part of the abdomen? So it's just a kind of checking in thing, and I've got a poll for exactly that right here, which I'm going to run. So basically it's when you breathe in, where does the lowest part of your breath go? And let's just see how we're doing as a group. That is it, the upper lungs, the lungs here, the upper abdomen or the lower abdomen, and we'll see how we're doing. Okay, excellent. Now look, that is a completely different profile from when I checked in a few months ago, and certainly if we think about maybe a year and a half ago, when we first did this exercise, right at the beginning of the whole COVID thing, we had a vast majority of people voting for the upper lungs and the lungs, and hardly any of the group felt the breath going into the upper abdomen. And look what an amazing change we've got here, because we've actually got the majority of the group feeling it below the lungs. And what that actually means anatomically is it means we are successfully, as a group, starting to release the diaphragm and get that sensation of breathing down. And that's probably the best way that we can train ourselves to regulate our nervous system and deal with stress. So that's pretty awesome. That's really, really good. And for those of you, let's see, we've got about a third of you who are still feeling it mainly the upper lungs or the lungs. Hopefully by the end of this session, we can change all that around and we can start really being able to program ourselves so that our natural breath feels very much lower than right up in the upper lungs. But that's really, truly impressive. I think Dinah would agree with me there that is a massive change that we've achieved as a group over this last year and a half. Okay, so now all we need to know, everyone, is which burner is going to win the poll today, because every single one of the burners is related to different aspects of the breathing and how the breathing interfaces with the nervous system. So we just need one more poll and we can get going. And that is, which burner would you like to work on today? Let's have a look. Which burner would you like to work on most today? Let's have a look. So which one is going to win? I think recently we've had quite an even vote for the burners. We've had very big swings over the last year and a half as the pandemic has rolled on and different things have happened. So let's see what we're going to get today. Okay, now look at this. This is going to be really interesting because we've got a very, very clear split here where we've got half the group voting for the upper burner and the other half split evenly between the lower and the middle burner. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to make sure that we focus. We're going to tweak. What we'll do is we'll tweak the class. We'll build up the lower burner and the middle burner. And then what we'll do is we'll do an extra special upper burner lung related series of exercises to deepen the breath. Okay, excellent. So I'll click that back and I'll let Dinah sort you out on the chat if you've got any questions as we go along. But otherwise, let's start. Okay, so we think of breathing, we think of the lungs, we always think of the upper body anatomically, but as we've explored in the Wednesday classes before, the lower and the middle burner are very important for the breathing. Basically, we need to strengthen the lower burner because what that does is it connects us with the ground, it connects us with the kidney energy, and that energy in Chinese medicine grasps the qi from the lungs. So you may find that your breathing is high, and it might be because this area is weak, and we're going to explore that in the next 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, so first of all, let's just stand. And we'll just start off by doing a little bit of shaking. It's getting a bit warmer in here now, so I'll take this jacket off. We do a little bit of shaking just to get rid of any superficial tension in the upper body, in the shoulders, and down and into the hips and the feet. Okay, so let's just start off with some shaking. We're going to have that cord suspending the head from above. And we're going to shake out the shoulders. And while we're doing this, let's suspend the head and open the throat. And that will give us a nice start on opening up the lung channel. So we're going to get that lung channel opened out. You see what I'm doing? I'm shaking my arms out and I'm stretching this way, bringing the thumbs outwards, and that will start to just open up the lung channel. Excellent. Okay, so now once we've got the shoulders and the neck and the throat nice and opened up, we can start working on the costal area. That's the whole rib cage area, and which goes in. It's connected to the upper thoracic. So I'm going to just let that open up. Okay. Okay, very good. Now we can shake down. We're going down into the diaphragm or in the middle burner. I'm just going to start shaking the middle burner out. I'm rotating it around a little bit, moving it about, shaking the diaphragm. Okay, very good. And now we're going to go down into the abdomen here. Let's get those hips nice and released. Just really feel the whole pelvic area moving, shaking down into the legs. Very good. Now let's try and get a connection all the way from the top of the head all the way down to the feet. So we're just shaking down. Okay, excellent stuff. Right, so now we've basically got rid of some of the superficial tension, any tension in the body. It's now time to make sure that that lower burner is nice and stable and it's nice and strong. So we're going to open up the soles of the feet, kidney 1. We just open that up energetically just by thinking it open. And we can imagine the head floating up, opening up to kidney 1, feeling the connection with the earth. And you can imagine like the earth's energy, the fluids from the earth coming up. Imagine if we're a tree, and you can imagine that cooling, nurturing energy coming up from the earth. It's a good image. So you can imagine we're a tree and these roots are going down into the earth. Now what we want is we want that earthing type of cool, fluidy type connection to come up through the legs, and we want it to go into the lower hara area here. And just before Christmas, we did a lot of detailed work on some of the conception vessel points around here that create this lower dantian. And if we just rub our hands together and shake our wrists out, just to get some Qi into the hands, and we can just place them together over this lower dantian, which is about 1.5 inches below the navel there, this whole area here. So if my navel is here, top of my pubic bone is here, we've got this space here, it's going to be around this area here. And that's the energy center in the body that we really need to stabilize to help breathing. Okay, so we've got the kidney 1 open. So let's just breathe in, and we're going to try and get the breath to go right between our hands here, right underneath our hands, breathing in. And hold it and breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Okay, now as we're doing this, depending on which burner you voted for, upper burner people, just see if you've got a problem getting that breathing in and down here. Middle burner people, notice if there's a blockage here connecting the breath down into this area. And lower burner people, just see if you can get some more energy there into the lower burner. Okay, excellent. So now what we need to do is turbocharge that lower burner and see what difference it makes to the connection. And we're going to use our old favorite kidney 1 to start the process off. I'm going to get my chair here and so I'm nice and comfy. So let's get that kidney 1 really activated. We want that kidney 1 to be activated so that we can get the energy from the earth up into the lower burner to stabilize the breathing. So even though we're talking about breathing, we've got to get that lower burner activated. So I'm just maybe it's a little bit cold on the floor today, but we're going to tap kidney 1. There we go. And pressing in, opening up. I noticed that we're almost up to 1,000 people who have signed up for the Wednesday classes. So we get around 50, maybe sometimes 60 people turning up live. A lot of people I know watch the recording, which is awesome. So we've got a very big catchment of people now who tune in sometimes to the recordings, and some of you I know come every week to the live event, which is great to see on the chat there. It's a lot more fun when you come live if you can, but I know some of you just can't do that because of work commitments and stuff like that. So let's get this really opened up. I'm just going to do a bit more tapping here actually. I want to get this kidney 1 really active. And also another thing is we must be getting close to our 100th class, and we're going to definitely have a celebration when we reach 100 classes. It's going to be quite soon, I think. We're really getting up towards that now. Okay, so that's my kidney 1. Is that done? Yeah, I think so. And put this back. Let's try kidney 1 on the other side. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to stretch out and pressing into the whole center of the foot there. Tapping here. This is going. This is a Japanese form of self shiatsu, very popular in Japan. It's a great self shiatsu technique, especially if you want to stimulate the points. If you're feeling very weak and tired, though, you want to keep it very light, the tapping very light, minimize that, and just focus mainly on the breathing, internal breathing. But generally speaking, most of the points that we select are the tonifying points. Like this point is really good for tonifying the yin of the body, as we'll find out when we stand up in a minute. Let me see. I think that's done. Okay, excellent. So now let's see what happens when we try and connect the lower burner with kidney 1 now. Let's see what happens now that we've stimulated the point. Okay, so here we go. Standing again. Feel that kidney 1 nice and bubbling away, bubbling spring, nicely connected. We're just relaxing the legs here, floating the head up. And now if we tune into our lower body, check out the difference. Okay, you've got that really strong connection now, and you're probably going to start feeling it activating the kidney channel up through the inside of the leg there and into the lower burner. And let's just try. We're placing our hands here. We're going to just take a breath in, focusing on kidney 1. There we go. Very different, right? Easier to breathe into this area, and that's because we're charging up. We've supercharged that energy connection with the earth. And if we open up kidney 1 and think even deeper down into the earth, keeping the head floating up, and breathe in again. It's even stronger, and that just shows you how you can use your mind to open the channels. Let's give it a little bit of a help though with some doing. Let's just tap up the kidney channel. So we're going to start just behind the ankles, that's kidney 3, up the inside of the legs, and then round, down the back of the bladder channel, and then up, kidney meridian again, down the bladder channel, up, the kidney channel, down the bladder channel. Okay, very good. We're going to just brush off. Now that should turbocharge it a little bit more. So let's just tune in again to kidney 1. Place our hands over the lower burner and the lower dantian here. Relax the shoulders. Tune into the legs. Tune into that connection with the earth. And take another breath in. There we go. See, it's a little bit easier again because the kidney channel is really active now. Okay, let's just do a little bit more on the lower burner and then we'll move up to the middle burner. Okay, so we're going to use some of this circling techniques. This is another Qi Gong technique. So let's do some circling around the lower dantian. We're going to keep those armpits open. We need the Qi to go down the hands into this area. Nice light touch, and we're just going to circle. Float the head up, relax the jaw, relax the shoulders. Just softening the hips a little bit, relaxing the knees, and connecting again. Kidney 1 down into the earth. There we go. Okay, now what we're going to do now is just very light touch. We're just going to allow the Qi from the hands to start sinking through into the lower burner or the lower dantian, and we're focusing it into the back. Okay, so the question is how deep is it going? We're using our mind to direct the Qi from the hands. Keep those hips really soft there. Wow, the sun has come out now. You can see the camera trying to adjust for the increased light. It's lovely. It's like a spring sunshine coming through the blinds. Amazing. Okay, so here we go. Relax those hips. Focus it right the way through. See if you can connect this feeling with the sacrum. Very good. Okay, now keep doing it. Now I'm going to open up kidney 1 again, float the head up, and get a bit of a boost from that connection with the earth. Relaxing the hips. Excellent. Okay, really good. Okay, so we're going to keep that connection with the lower burner, but we're going to do this. This is bladder 23, the famous kidney U point. Only do this if you can comfortably do it with your shoulders. So if your shoulders are stiff or painful, then don't worry, just keep doing this. See if you can get it through into the lower back. So we've got the middle of the lumbar area here. Again, I'm opening up kidney 1, connecting down, rotating. And if you'd like to do this, this is another Sacrum Rub technique. This is another one for the lower burner. What we do is just literally place the hands on the sacrum, that's this bony part here, and we just rub like this. And there's quite a lot of acupuncture points on the sacrum that link directly with the lower burner. So we're just activating those until you feel, again, you can feel the warmth going through the sacrum and into this area here. Okay, excellent. Okay, time to check in again. So let's just see how the breathing goes now. Feet shoulder width apart, shoulders relaxed, and we're going to take a breath in. Wow, smoother. Okay, and then breathing out. Okay, that's interesting, isn't it? Just that direct connection and tonification of the lower burner makes quite a bit of difference. Okay, anyone who voted for the breathing being a bit high and voted for the middle burner, this section is for you. And this is a really important part of the whole breathing thing, and that's because we want to release the diaphragm. And so why don't we do a little bit of self-shiatsu, a little bit of ampuku therapy. And what that means is literally just working directly on the abdomen. So if you feel around here, you'll feel the edge of your ribs that go down here. You may be able to feel the floating rib here, which is kind of like a part of a rib that just ends there and floats around. And then you can feel right round it, another floating rib, and then you go into the waist. And if you go round further, you'll feel the lower part of the thoracic spine, and then this bit here, right in here, is the lumbar, which is just a bit of muscles there. Okay, now this area is really important because this area we can directly feel the diaphragm. So if you press in gently in like this, what you should feel is quite soft, kind of flexible feeling all the way around the upper abdomen. And there's lots of reasons why this isn't flexible, and parts of it can be liver. So this area here can be stiff, or sometimes you get this feeling here will be obstructed, and that's the stomach. Sometimes you get a feeling of a pulse and a kind of tension here, and that's descending aorta, and that's related to the fire element, related to the heart and the circulation, but also to the emotional center of the body. And that can really be a significant feeling of tension around this area. So we've got a lot going on in the middle burner. And it's really worth just maybe just feeling around, just noticing any areas of tension there. And if you can get round to the back here and feel around the lower part of the ribs, you can get access into the lower part, the posterior part of the diaphragm, which is where the diaphragm is a really large muscle, goes right across here, right at the top of the abdomen. So get round into here and just notice again if there's any areas of tension around there. And then what we can do is now, checked in with that, is we can use some of our techniques, some of our going techniques and our rotational techniques to release this middle burner area. Okay, so let's go. So let's start off by twisting. We're going to have that head floating up, relaxing the shoulders. Okay, remember what it felt like around here. And we're going to turn the body. And as we do it, we're focusing it on the middle burner. And we're imagining it as opening up and releasing. Very good. Very good. Okay, excellent. So now it's time to use some of the channels. Let's just have a quick feel in here. Yeah, okay, that feels pretty good. Now I'm going to use some channels directly related to the middle burner, and they are basically the stomach meridians that run down the front of the body. It's getting a bit warm in here. I've got the sun out and the heaters are on, getting too hot. We've got the stomach channel, runs down the front. We've got the liver and gallbladder meridians running down the sides of the body. So let's do some focused doing here. Okay, we're going to tune into this area here. I'm just going to tune in, feel what that's like. And we're going to directly connect this up with the leg channels. So let's start off here by tuning in again to the diaphragm. And we're going to start tapping here around into gallbladder 30. What we're doing is we're seeing if we can feel a connection between this area here and the channels. And if you find an area, especially if you're a middle burner person, if you find an area that feels really good, and I'll give you some hints of where that might be as we go down, then I would just stay there for, for about half a minute or 20 seconds or something. Just keep working it until you feel that this area is starting to really release. Okay, down we go. This is just below the knee on the outside. We have gallbladder 34, one of the main points that is used to release the middle burner and the diaphragm. And in fact, any tendons in the body. So this is a really good place to focus in on. And it's literally on the side of the leg, just below the knee there. So just tap around that area, bound to get it. Okay, and I'm tuning in here now, tuning into the middle burner. Go down. And then up the liver channel, that's up the inside of the legs. All the way up. And actually, there's some very interesting points here on the liver channel that link directly with the middle burner. We've got liver 13 and liver 14 here. So we can just tap around here, around the floating rib. And literally tapping around the diaphragm here, actually, and up into the front of the body here. Yeah. Okay, excellent. So now we're going to go round out into the gallbladder 30 again. Down. Gallbladder 34, up, inside the legs, and then it's down again, tuning in all the time to the middle burner as we do that. Up the inside of the legs, that's the liver channel. And that comes up around the floating rib and round and up onto the front of the chest here. Let's go again. So we're going down here. We're going 34. Liver channel. Okay, excellent. All right, shaking out. Okay, now this is going to be an interesting little test here. Middle burner people, if we go back into this area here and press in again, and well, certainly in my case, it feels a lot softer after that, which indicates that if you're a middle burner person and doing the liver and gallbladder meridian going, helps release this, and this could be a liver and gallbladder thing. Might be worth doing a bit of research, finding some exercises, maybe some yoga for the liver and gallbladder channels, or come into the Shiatsu Center and have a Shiatsu with one of the practitioners here, and that we can help you out with that. Okay, now the other main meridian that we have in the middle burner is the stomach and the spleen channels. They run down the abdomen here. This is the stomach channel. And again, what I'm doing is I'm tuning into here. I'm going down outside the legs here. Again, around the knee, but more on the front here, just around here. If you place your, this is how you find it, you place your hand on your knee, get this middle finger here, and slide it around to the side. You'll find there's a nice little indentation there on the outside of the shin. And that's stomach 36. That's another real super famous acupuncture point. It's used to tonify the whole body, great for the digestion, and great for just generally strengthening the system. So that's really worth, again, pausing here. Let's get that stomach 36 open. It's also a very powerful grounding point. So again, relaxing down into your feet. Whoa, it's humming. We go down into the foot and then up. And then down. Something 6. Spleen channel. Awesome. Down we go. Up 36. Connecting with the middle burner. Okay, and then up. Okay, and then brushing off. Very good. Okay, so now there's a big test here, especially for the middle burner people in the group. Okay, any of you who voted for the lower burner and the middle burner, let's see what happens now. Feet shoulder width apart. Hand over the lower burner here. Relax in the middle burner. Let's do some deep breaths into this area here. And then breathing out very slowly. Bit of a shake as well. Breathing in here. Bit of a shake. Very good. One more. Breathing in here. Really expanding out the diaphragm, the whole of this lower costal region here. Breathing out. Okay, a little bit of a shake out. And now it's testing time. We're going to keep those feet shoulder width apart. We're going to open up that, open up the kidney 1 point, place our hands on the lower burner, connect down into the earth, relax the middle burner. Okay, so I'm bringing my mind's eye into the lower burner, middle burner here, and I'm just really relaxing that. You got that? It's a really nice feeling there between a connection between the lower and the middle burner, and that's the connection between the kidney energy, which is kind of like strongly connected to the middle burner functioning. Now look, you can see what happens now. We're going to breathe in. Okay, and then breathe out. Okay, now what a difference for me, because I voted middle burner. That's actually the biggest change I've had so far in my breathing. The lower burner was pretty good, but that was pretty amazing change. And that just shows you how the relationship between all the 3 burners is really important for the breathing. Okay, so finally we come to the upper burner, and that includes point of the week. I'm going to get that in right now. We have a little tiny break between the burners here. Just get the slides up and show you where we are. Okay, so we're here now. We're right towards the end of the purple area. And I think I've got the, yeah, okay, so we've got these large intestine points that we've been doing this month. We've got large intestine 4, large intestine 10, large intestine 11, and we've got large intestine 20, okay? So basically, we've been working up the large intestine channel, and this is welcome smell. It's very easy to find. It's right here, opposite the nose, and we're going to build that into our large intestine work today. It's used obviously for breathing, nasal congestion, stuff like that. So that's our point of the week. But what we're going to do, especially today, is revise the movement of energy and get back into the whole idea of stringing the meridians together into one continuous movement. So basically what happens is all the channels start here at lung 1 and they travel all the way around the body in a very specific looping method, which alternates between the arms and the legs. And we've just done the first part of that, which is going from here and then up here and up into the head. So you can see it starts on the chest and it ends on the face. And that's really important because that pattern runs through the entire 12 meridian cycle. So by Christmas, everyone, we will know the whole sequence of the meridians, how they go into the body and out of the body. Really important to remember, this is the yin part of the body. This connects directly with the internal organs. We mainly use these to strengthen up the internal organs. These channels you can see here, the yang channels, they all go up into the head and they're mainly used for working the exterior of the body, and they're mainly used for things like shoulder problems, headaches, and obstructions in the body. So there's a real difference there, and we can experience that when we go through this loop, which is the main breathing related upper burner sequence. So let's do it and see what it feels like. So let's just check in again, see what this feels like. Let's just take a deep breath around the whole lungs for now. Get a sense of how free this area feels and how freely, excuse me, the Qi comes in. Coughing, by the way, is related to the lungs. That's what happens. Just see how free this feels. We'll do this lung and large intestine loop, and then we'll see how we feel after that. Okay, so let's go. We're going to start off where we began right at the beginning of January, here at lung 1, which is just here. If you follow your collarbone round and just get into this crease at the front of the shoulder and just go down, a little bit down, like kind of 1 body inch down there, then that's the lung channel. And we can tap there. I'm going to have a drink of water. This is really working already. It's starting to make me cough. Coughing is good with the lungs because it's expelling any toxins or pernicious influences they've got in there. Okay, so we're going to open this up. It's quite nice to make some sounds if you haven't got any neighbours nearby. So you can make some like and resonate that into the whole lungs. Okay, I'm going to go down the lung channel past lung 5, lung 9, 10 and 11. And this is a big moment. We turn over, now we're on the yang channel, and this channel is to connect the head up with the hands. So we've got large intestine 4 right in here, that's used mainly for headaches. We've got large intestine 10, that's a general tonifying point because it's a kind of friend of stomach 36, so it's used to tonify. We've got large intestine 11, again that's a point mainly for the arm and elbow issues. And we go up here, and then we go in, it goes up through the neck and then into large intestine 20. So let's just give that a little bit of a press. And while we're doing that, with this finger, we're going to relax and see if we can get an energy connection all the way down into this finger. This is the large intestine finger. Yeah, let's see. Okay, very good. So let's do it again. Okay, down lung 1, whoa. Down lung 5, lung 9, 10, up large intestine 4, 10, 11, and then up, and then large intestine 20. Couple of breaths, and then we're back here, lung 1. Okay, so next week, everyone, will be a very exciting moment because it'll be the first time that we go from one element to another, and we'll be going from the large intestine to another channel that starts very, very close to it. You have to tune in next week and we'll find out what we'll be doing for March and April this year. Down, up, top, and large intestine 20. Okay, I'm activating the channel up my arms, relaxing. Okay, woo, okay, great. So let's try the other side. Down we go. Up the large intestine channel. Up here, and then finish with let's see if we can do that. And then we do a special stretch to connect the large intestine channel right the way up into the head. Down. Along. So it's up the large intestine channel, up to here, and then point of the week, large intestine 20, welcome smell. Very good. Oh, I feel like my sinus is already opening up. Should you always have a tissue handy if you're going to do that point. You never know what might start to happen. We go down onto the thumb and then back up. Large intestine 20. Large intestine 20. Okay, brilliant. Now, if you want to really experience that channel, we can do a couple of stretches. This is really for the lungs. We just go up here like this, bring the thumb out, breathe in, stretch up and back, and you'll feel a pull on the thumb, and that's the lung channel being opened up. Okay, we'll do that a couple of times, or 3 times. So breathing in, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out. Excellent. Okay, and now an extension of that is this is a meridian stretch, and what we do is we link the thumbs together like this. So we're linking them like this together, okay. And then we go down this way and we open up the lung channel and the large intestine channel. Okay, I'm sure you'll feel this. So we're going to breathe in, do it from the front and breathe in and come this way, and you can see how the thumb are connected. And the first finger gets pointed up towards the ceiling. Okay, so keep that lung 1 area here as open as we can. Again, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And the more you open it up this way, nice and easy and gently opening up this way, the more the lung channel will open up. Okay, nice long exhalation, hold it, feel that stretch, and then relax out of the stretch. Okay, very good. Now, if you're feeling a little bit weak sometimes and you feel your breathing needs to strengthen up, this is a really good medical Qi Gong exercise, much more gentle than stretches, but very effective if you're feeling a bit kind of delicate. And that's where you bring your hands up like this, thumbs go outside of the body, and you just drop them back like this. So let's just do that a few times to consolidate the work on the lungs, keeping those thumbs open, feet shoulder width apart, head floating up, opening the throat, nice and easy breaths. And what we do is we focus in and we release the shoulders and the front of the shoulder. You see, as we go back here, just when we get to there, that's where the lung channel is stretched open. Okay, so again, this is something you can repeat. Feeling a bit weak, you'll do this for like 200 repetitions, really nice and easy. And at the end of it, you'll feel that this is really starting to open out and you'll get a tingling feeling down the thumbs. Okay, excellent. So that's really good. Opening of the lung channel, opening the sinuses with large intestine 20, bringing the breath in. So let's see how we're doing with the breathing. So Remember what it was like at the beginning of the session, just nearly almost an hour ago now. And we'll just check and see what kind of breath we get. We're just relaxing. And this time we're opening up lung 1, releasing the whole upper burner. We're going to breathe in. And breathe out. Okay, you notice the difference there. It's nice and smooth all the way down because we released the middle burner and the lower burner. But what we've got now, because of all this work on the lung and large intestine, is we've got more qi actually coming into the lungs. Let's do it again. I'll show you what I mean. Focusing in on the upper burner, breathing in. You feel that's a lot more released, and it's the qi from the breath, or the energy from the breath is coming in so much easier like that. Okay, and you notice that as we breathe out, there's a tendency for the energy to move downwards, and that's the descending function of the lung qi. Let's just do that again, and we're just focusing on that. So we're breathing in. Okay, now feel that energy from the breath in the lungs, and see what happens when we breathe out slowly. Which way does it go? Okay, now if you get a nice feeling of everything kind of going woo downwards, that is the descending function of the lung qi in Chinese medicine, an important function of the lungs. Because when that's impaired, what happens is we get this high breathing, or we get a feeling of the face being kind of stuffed up with fluids and everything like that. So that movement downwards is really important. Okay, cool. How are we doing for time? We've just got like 10 minutes left. So let's just do some stretches for the pericardium. We'll do a little bit of work for on the yang channels, and then we'll be done for this Wednesday. So breathing in, breathe out. Breathing in, breathing out. This is a pericardium stretch. We're just going to open up the chest. Fire element. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, excellent. So let's do a little routine for the face. We're going to start off right here, large intestine 20, and work outwards along the sinuses. Just literally gripping around here and pressing around here, and then we can tap here. Okay, I'm going to stand up actually just to integrate it in with the whole standing position. So we're going to tap here. Tapping across the top of the head and onto the neck. Okay, let's get that jaw really relaxed. Pressing around the jaw. Pulling around the ears. Just wiping any tension off the face and down the neck, and squeezing down the back of the neck here. Just like getting really gripping in and squeezing down. Okay, we're going to make sure that we release this SCM muscle here. Because that's where the large intestine channel runs. So we've got all the way from here, up here, and into this point here. And next week, it's going to be March, and we're going to find out what the next meridian is and where it goes and how it connects with the large intestine meridian. Okay, excellent. So that's the head nicely opened up. And now we can just tap the shoulders. Very important to tap around the shoulders. Lots of channels around here that run down from the neck. And the other side. Tapping on the top of the shoulder here. And down. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically working down the yang channels of the arm, connecting away from the head. And we did the same thing with the yang channels of the body on the legs. So we've got stomach, gallbladder and bladder. So again, we're just kind of brushing down, squeezing down and then out through the floor. Brushing off. Okay, excellent. Just got a few more minutes now just to check in and see what we've done as a group. Okay, now if you remember, half of us voted for the upper burner, but most of us were getting the breathing reasonably well down the body. So if you can remember how you felt at the beginning of the session, we'll just review what we've done and put it all together. Okay, we've already reviewed this movement, and next week we're going to go on the next part of that journey. Breathing, Chinese medicine breathing's, effective breathing is made up of three things. We need a strong lower burner so the kidney qi can grasp the qi from the lungs. We need a nice flexible and open middle burner so we don't get a blockage in the diaphragm on the way down. And we need a nice strong open lung qi to bring the air in and descend the lung qi. Okay, so let's see if we can put it all together in a Tai Chi movement. Pull it all together. So we've got kidney 1 open down there, keeping us nice and connected. We've got our head floating up. We're going to do this exercise, and as we do it, we're going to tune in internally and just balance out those three burners as we do it. Are you ready? Okay, so we're going to focus in first of all on the lower burner. Okay. And we're going to breathe in. Bring the breath into the lower burner, and as we breathe out, this action of bringing the hands down encourages the qi to come down from the lungs and connect with the grasping of the lower burner. Okay, so we're focusing our attention here, breathing in, descending the qi, breathing in, okay, now we're going to bring up our attention to the middle burner. As we breathe out, we're going to release and open up the middle burner, breathing in. Relaxing the middle burner. Relax the diaphragm, descend the lung qi down. Smoothly through this area here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Okay, feel good? So now the next thing, the final thing, is to bring the lung qi in and from the air, from the qi from the air into the lungs, and then we're going to descend it down from the lungs, okay? Because this is nice and strong now, this is nice and open, so let's see if we can put it all together. Ready? So we bring the qi from the air into the lungs, and then really, really relax, nice and slowly, and we're just going to gently guide that qi down through the center of the body, all the way down into the lower dantian. So the qi comes here and it goes down into this area here. Okay, here we go. Isn't that a beautiful feeling? Let's do one more. You notice how calming that is as well, because it's so effective at regulating the nervous system. Okay, let's just do a couple more breaths. This time we're going to get that qi all the way down, right down to kidney 1 and down into the earth, keeping the head floating up. Ready? Breathing in. Okay, let's just send that qi down. And now go further, relaxing our hips down into kidney 1. I'm now around down into kidney 1, sending the qi down into the earth. Got it? Breathing in. Floating the head up, connecting with the lung qi, relaxing the middle burner, centering the qi in the hara, and then descending it down through the legs into kidney 1 and into the center of the earth. Amazing. Okay, one more. Descending, releasing, collecting, projecting down into the earth. Okay, there we go. What a great way to start the week, or to set us up for the next week ahead. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh my God, we're 1 minute over. How about that? We're 30 seconds over. I can't believe that. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much. Better put a thank you, Liz, for your feedback. Thank you for all of your feedback. Wow, I had a great time. I must say, really enjoyed this class. It's great to be back. Just put a heart in the chat out to everyone, and we'll see you next week. Tell all your friends. We've still got room on the class if you've got some friends who'd like to do it. And thank you, all of you who are New Energy Work subscribers or Shiatsu College Norwich community members, because you fund this. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Okay, see you next week. Thank you, Dinah, for sorting out the chat. Looks like you've been busy.